Hello, this is the Blast Report podcast on all things blasting. My name is Evan Tebow with New Wave Consulting, and I want to thank all the drill and blast teams along with those supporting them who are out there on the pattern. The production team at Blast Think and I would like to welcome you to today's episode of the Blast Report podcast. Now, out of all your independent services and stories and different companies you've worked for over all the years, what would you say would be some of the, some people say, well, that's not like my rock. This is the hardest rock to drill, or this is the hardest rock to blast. And every time you come up to a project, someone wants to say, well, this is this rock, it's not going to work in this rock. Is there some kind of rock? For example, I asked Manuel Lopez out of Spain one time. I said, "Where is the hardest place you've ever been blasting?" And if you could pick,
Hawaii.
And he says it was It was with those hillbillies down in Tennessee. And he pointed at me where I'm from.
No,
but you say Hawaii.
Hawaii. Mm-hmm.
Was it basalt?
Yes.
Yeah.
And here's the reason for it: it's basalt itself is not a difficult rock to shoot, as long as it's cooled slowly, had time to the bubbles to come out of it, and it's a solid formation. The Hawaiian Islands are so new that it's virtually impossible to gauge. Ditch lines are almost impossible to shoot in Hawaii. And the reason for that is you don't know when you're running from the slow cool basalt to the new basalt that still has a lot of the entrained air pockets in and stuff. So you can do one shot and everything comes out absolutely perfect. And you do the next shot and half of it lays down because you run those fissures. I remember one time we were out loading, this was in Hilo, and we were out loading a shot there and dropping dynamite down the hole, taking a loading pole, like 13 feet deep, taking a loading pole, 2 sticks, and nothing's coming up. Looking down the hole, and you can see the tide from the ocean coming into the pattern and back out. And so it was just so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Ran into a little bit of that in Central Oregon as well. So of all the places that I don't think that rock itself, when you mean the hardest to shoot, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by the hardest to shoot.
The question itself isn't really formulated to be too detailed, because sometimes it's actually the drilling that's the most difficult part and not the shooting, or sometimes it's the crew that you work with.
To your point, the issue is that's why doing accurate drill logs are just so critical in particular when you get a formation like that where it's absolute garbage. You have to know where to isolate the explosives and where to put the charges in order to get the rock to break. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to break the rock. So we'd have one shot, the front half of it would just do absolutely perfect. The middle of it would absolutely lay down, and the back end of it would just throw rock everywhere. It's all based off of the geology of the rock. So what we then ended up doing was then insisting that the drillers had accurate drill logs in order to load the shot, or we were going to load it. We just weren't going to load it. It was just that important.
Now, did you work with Kathy Amity over there? Did you run across Kathy Amity? Because I knew she was doing some work over in Hawaii also.
This was during when H3 was built, so on Oahu. That went from Diamond Head to Oahu to the mountain.
Got it. Yeah.
That's whenever I was over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she was been seismic work. Kathy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She was doing seismic work and stuff. Pack Powder, didn't they go over into Hawaii also? Okay.
Yep. That's why I went over with Pack Powder.
Oh, you was over there with Pack Powder. Okay.
Yeah. We sold the H3 project. We had from Hammerhead Bay back halfway through the mountain. And then I'm trying to remember who was a contractor. They had Atlas powder that went from the Oahu side back. We met, basically the job met in the middle.
Okay.
In the middle of it. So
how did you get your explosives in there? They had to come in by boat, of course.
Container. Yeah.
Container
container
ships.
Mm-hmm. shipped them in. And you had to have 24-hour notice, and you had to have police escort to and from the magazine site.
Okay.
You couldn't just load up a truck full of dynamite and go drop it off. You had to get your escort set up.
Okay.
For it.
Wow.
Hawaii was an incredibly difficult place to work.
Yeah.
Because you had it's a tourist country.
Mm-hmm.
So you call down for a 5 o'clock wake up in the morning, and they want to know who died in your family, because nobody comes from Hawaii.
Waking up at 5 o'clock.
Gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the extremities of the United
is.
States definitely have their own operating hours. You know, you go down to the Keys, and that's a different country.
And you hired everything through the hall there, through the Union Hall. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In Hawaii. And I want to tell you that King Kamehameha's second wife's third cousin had a holiday, because it just seemed like
very socialist.
Oh,
very
absolutely.
Socialist over there.
Yep. So we got the job done. Met some good people, but it was a difficult place to work.
So how long was you on that job, Mike?
Not quite 2 years.
Oh wow. Okay, quite a while.
Yep, year and a half. Now I still worked in the States, but I would fly over every 2, 3, 4 months, just depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
And tag on a weekend, hopefully.
Yeah. No, I just go for a couple weeks.
Have you flew enough now in your life?
Plenty.
Think you got those miles?
Plenty. I do not like getting on planes.
I was going to say, God, I hate those. Yeah.
Yep.
The plane it just gets me here to there. That's all.
That's all it is. I'm all over the.
Yeah, I was going to say what you've been telling us is when you said you went to all these states and stuff and was working for Trojan, and he was calling you and saying, get up to here, get this job done. You got to climb on another
plane and go again.
Go again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did say earlier you were talking about your 50 years was the goal, but you had also kind of dropped that there's another nice note. That you have been blasting in every state except 3.
Except 3, yeah.
Except 3.
So
and what 3 of those?
So the 3 are North Carolina, Montana, and Mississippi. Those are the 3.
And under contract, are you still not allowed to work in any of those?
No. Oh well, not that I know of. Maybe so, but anyway.
Well, see, Mississippi. To my knowledge, just stone quarries is what's in Mississippi. I don't know of any minerals down there.
Nick, I have no idea. All I know is I haven't shot in it.
Yeah. North Carolina, of course, it's got the rock.
Shot in northern Alabama. Around the Birmingham area. So salt mines down Louisiana. So
yeah, right.
I worked in those salt mines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
right. Yeah.
Those are the 3 that I'm aware of. That.
Yeah.
So marine limestone in Florida.
Limestone.
Granites in Georgia. Yeah.
Now and Bernhardt, you've been with them now. How many years did you say?
I started Barnard actually a year ago. Tomorrow.
Hey.
Yep.
Okay, it's your anniversary. Yep.
1st of August last year.
Well, that's exciting because they've got like you said, to your chagrin, you've been more for companies that get bought out. They seem to be the company doing the buying.
Mm-hmm.
Barnhart seems to be the company that's growing, not
they are.
To your point, they're not looking for somebody to buy them. They're looking for somebody to buy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barnard reminds me of an old Peter Kiewit company. They've got, and there's nothing wrong with Kiewit, but Kiewit is more corporately structured now than what they were when I first started. I've been involved with Kiewit for 30 years now, but Tim Barnard, which is the owner, great guy, super good philosophy. Just reminds me of a young Peter Kiewit company.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Blast Report podcast. I want to thank the team at Blast Think for producing this show, and please follow along for more episodes in the future and share this podcast with your colleagues so we can continue to honor our industry and the people in it. Be safe and have a blast.